Today I would like to pay tribute to my grandmother. I know that everyone always thinks that they have the best grandparents, but I truly think that I did have the best grandma, and I think that you're about to see why. She was Italian, and the word for grandmother in Italian is nonna, and so it's kind of actually a funny story. I always called her Noni because when I was little, my parents and my family would try and get me to say this phrase, Nonina Mia, which means like my little grandma, but I couldn't say it, so all that came out was Noni, and the name stuck. My brother and I always called her Noni our entire lives. I want to tell you about my Noni because I really think that she is a person that embodied love and generosity and inspiration, and I think that her story can be really helpful for people who are going through difficult times. I feel like pretty much every bad thing that could have happened to her. She lost her first baby when he was only a few weeks old, and then her second son, my Uncle Roy, was born with cerebral palsy and spinal meningitis, and he lived until he was an adult, but he did pass away when I was a baby. And then she had my dad, who is still alive, thankfully, and I just know that it was really hard for her to lose two of her sons, and I would say that my Noni was somebody who always had a positive attitude and didn't let those things affect the person that she was in a negative way. Cancer runs in our family. Both of her parents had cancer, which was terminal. Both of them passed away long before I was ever born. And in 2001, my Noni was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. Soon after that, she had a hysterectomy and began the long process of treatments and traveling to different clinics and different doctors and trying to find what the best care for her was. And through that whole process, I remember my Noni being sick a lot of times, but she was still always my grandma. She was still somebody who really loved others. She didn't allow the bad things that had happened to her and all the loss that she had suffered to inhibit her from loving fully and from being generous. My parents would tell me stories of anonymous checks that people got in the mail at church after they had shared their financial struggles, and those were just things that my Noni would do. In fact, I remember when I was younger, my parents didn't have a lot of money, so I never had like cool clothes or like the other things that other kids had. And one time she took me shopping and I was allowed to get whatever I want. And I remember we were checking out and I started to cry because I felt so bad that she was buying me all this stuff. And she asked me why I was crying, and I told her I felt bad because she was spending money on me. And she said, "Oh no, honey, it's okay. This isn't real money. I'm using a credit card. It's plastic. It's fine." Which just totally talks about the kind of person that she was. She just valued people and time with people so much more than she valued money. And even though she was sick and hurting, she still took the time to take me out and spend time with me and teach me how to cook lasagna. And I'll just always treasure those memories that I had with her. She battled cancer for 6 years, and through that time she went in and out of remission, but she taught me a lot about what it has to have faith. And through that entire process, she always put her trust in God, and even though it was something that was obviously very difficult and very painful, she maintained a positive attitude throughout that. And that just really helped me to see that things that I thought in my life that were bad were nothing compared to what she was going through. And she would always have a good attitude and would always teach me how to see the silver lining in situations and how to have faith that God's in control and He's good and He loves us. And those were things that she really lived out in her life, and that even in the midst of terrible situation and circumstances and great pain, she held true to the things that she said, and she didn't let that change the person that she was. And here's some pictures of my grandma and I when I was younger. She did pass away in 2007, but I think that her legacy lives on in me and in my brother and in the way that we live our lives and the love that we have for her. And I'm excited to get to share her story with other people because I think that she's somebody that anyone could model their lives after. She was somebody who lived a life of service for other people and always saw the good in people and in the situation, and just really showed me a lot what it looks like to have trust and what it looks like to have faith even when it seems like the situation is hopeless. She really taught me how to find hope in the middle of despair.